Hello everyone. As you know, citizenship has become a topic of debate in India due to the recent Citizenship Amendment Act passed by the government. For this reason, the topic has also become important for the UPSC examination. And for that reason, I am going to take up the citizenship in India in its entirety. So we are going to discuss about the constitutional provisions associated with it, the Citizenship Act of 1955, as well as the issues surrounding the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. Now, I'll upload these videos in 3 separate parts. The first part will deal with the constitutional provision. Before we start with the constitutional provisions, however, let's discuss some of the associated terms. The first one is citizen. By citizen, I'm basically asking you, why does a country define its citizen? As you would know, a country has limited resources. It has limited land, it has limited minerals, and it has limited money. So now it would want to spend this limited resource on people who have a common political ideology, people who share a similar social history, people who have same cultural beliefs. So for that reason, a country designates certain people as its citizen, and they will be given the best preferential treatment compared to someone who is foreigner or someone who is an enemy to the country. And for you, I don't know, you might be knowing that Article 15 and 16 are only for the citizens of the country. They are not for any other individual. Article 19 again similarly. However, Article 14, 21, they are for every foreign person. Then Article 22 is not available to enemy aliens. Anyway, the next term is illegal immigrant. Illegal immigrant is someone who is residing in the country without any legal document. What do I mean by this? So say if you have migrated from, let's say, Bangladesh to India without any document, you will be an illegal immigrant. If, say, I am from England, I come to India with a visa of 6 months and I've overstayed my visa duration, I'll be an illegal immigrant. And the last term is enemy alien. You must have heard the term in news because of the recent debates regarding the properties of enemy alien, and government also passed a law regarding it. So anyway, enemy alien is someone who is a subject of the country we are at war with. So for example, if India is at war with, say, country X, so citizen of country X will be enemy of India, and they will be treated as enemy aliens. They have the least number of rights in India, as I already said. Article 22, which talks about preventive detention, is not available to enemy aliens. Now, there's a question that I would like to ask to you is, can an Indian citizen be enemy alien? The answer is yes. An Indian citizen who is living in a country we are at war with can be an enemy alien. So for example, if an Indian is living in that country X with which we are at war with, that person will also be categorized as an enemy alien. Okay, now moving ahead to the constitutional provision. Now, citizenship is dealt in part 2 of the Constitution, which is from Article 5 to Article 11. The first 4 articles, 5, 6, 7 and 8, talks about who will be the citizen of India. And the next 3 talks about some conditions, further conditions attached with it. One more thing, the constitutional provisions only talk about citizenship prior to the commencement of Constitution, that is 26th of January 1950. For any date after that, it is Government of India which decides. Okay, so as I said, Article 5, 6, 7, 8. Article 5 talks about citizenship by domicile. So a person who is born in India, irrespective of their nationality. or a person either of whose parents were born in India, or a person who has been living in India for 5 years immediately, so what I mean by immediately preceding the commencement of the Constitution. What I mean by this is a person has to have lived at least for 5 years right before the commencement of this Constitution. So let's say if you have lived in India from 1930 to 1940 and then you went abroad, you will not be given Indian citizenship. But had you lived in India from 1945 to 1950, let's say 25th January 1945 to 25th January 1950, you would be a citizen of India. Now the next is Article 6. It talks about migration of people from Pakistan to India. Now here it defines people who were born in India, people whose parents were born in India, or whose grandparents were born in India. Okay. What India? India as defined by Government of India Act 1935. So, people who migrated from Pakistan to India and who themselves or their parents or their grandparents were born in India as defined by the Government of India Act 1935 will be citizen of India. Now there are two conditions here. If they migrated to India before 19th of July 1948 and they have been living in India since then, they will be citizen of India. No questions asked, nothing to do. If they migrated to India after 19th of July 1948, they will have to have resided in India for 6 months and then make an application to be registered as citizen of India at the designated office issued by Government of India. So basically what it means that if you moved to India from Pakistan before 19th of July 1948, you are a citizen of India, provided you or your grandparents or your parents or your grandparents were born in India defined by Government of India Act 1935. If you moved after 19th of July 1948, you must have lived in India for 6 months and then register yourself. One more important thing. Why is the date 19th of July 1948 used? This date is used because this was the date when free movement of people between India and Pakistan was stopped. Okay, so before that, people were allowed to move between India and Pakistan. After 19th July 1948, this movement was stopped. Now coming to Article 7. Article 7 talks about people who migrated to Pakistan from India. Now it says people who migrated to Pakistan from India after 1st of March 1947, they will not be a citizen of India. Yes, Constitution uses this negative connotation itself. They will not be a citizen of India unless they come to India via a permit issued by the government. So the governments were issuing permits that okay, you can come to India. Why the permits were being issued? Because there were huge scale riots going on. There was violence in the name of religion. Hindus were prosecuted in Pakistan, Muslims were prosecuted in India. So there was huge exodus of people from Pakistan to India, and government was rightly issuing permits to those people who wanted to migrate to India. So any person who migrated to Pakistan after 1st of March 1947, they will be a citizen of India only and only if they come to India via a permit issued by government, and they must satisfy the condition in the previous article, that is Article 6. Which condition? That they must have resided in India for 6 months before making an application for registration as citizen of India. And for this reason, as you can see, I've used 3 different colors here: green, yellow and red. So the green, Article 5, is the easiest way to acquire citizenship of India. That is by birth, or if either of your parents were born, or you were living in India immediately before the commencement of the Constitution for 5 years. Article 6 is yellow because the condition is, there's some condition but it's not very stringent. Article 7 is red because the Constitution has used negative connotation. So you can remember it like this if it helps. And then finally there's Article 8. Article 8 basically deals with people who were residing outside India. So neither Pakistan nor India. The people who were born in India or whose parents or grandparents were born in India. Again, which India? India as defined by Government of India Act 1935. They, if they register themselves at any diplomatic office in the country they are residing, they can be an Indian citizen. Okay. So Article 6 and Article 8, they have this definition of India. Okay. 6 talks about parents, the person themselves, the parents or the grandparents. Same with 8, who were born in India. Which India? India as defined by Government of India Act 1935. Okay, now let's move on to the Article 9. Article 9 talks about single citizenship. Now you must have heard this term single citizenship. People so commonly talk about this, like if you're a citizen of United States, you can be citizen of any other country as well. But if you're a citizen of India, you cannot be a citizen of any other country. If you're a citizen of India and you voluntarily acquire citizenship of any other country, you lose your citizenship to India. Article 9 specifically mentions this. Remember, voluntarily. So this is a keyword here. So if a country grants you its citizenship and you don't accept it, it's okay, you will still be citizen of India. But if you voluntarily accept that country's citizenship, you'll have to surrender your Indian passport. Article 10 talks about continuance of the citizenship. So basically all these people who are deemed to be citizen of India in any of the above articles, that is 5, 6, 7 and 8, they will continue to be citizen of India unless a provision of law made by Parliament debars them from being so. Now Parliament has made some conditions in Citizenship Act. We'll talk about it in the second video. Article 11 gives power to the Parliament to make laws regarding citizenship. Now, a question here arises, why Parliament was given the power to make laws regarding citizenship? To this, if you refer to the Constituent Assembly debates, there Dr. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee, said very clearly, he mentions that they believe that citizenship is an ad hoc matter. Okay, we cannot bound the future government to what rules we make now. So at present we are defining who are citizens of India till the commencement of this constitution. After that, government, as it feels necessary, can make changes or can make laws which gives detailed provisions regarding citizenship. And that is why Citizenship Act 1955 was passed based on Article 11 only. And it has some detailed provisions regarding acquisition of citizenship or termination of citizenship and such matters. Okay. So before I finish this video, I'll reiterate those 4 conditions by which Constitution grants you citizenship of India. Okay. So yeah, Article 5 first. You can be citizen of India if you're born in India, if either of your parents were born in India, or you have lived in India immediately before the commencement of this constitution for 5 years. Article 6, if you migrated from Pakistan to India, here is an important date, 19th of July 1948. And an important term you can say which defines people who were born or whose parents or whose grandparents were born in India. Which India? India as defined by Government of India Act 1935. Article 7 talks about people who migrated from India to Pakistan after 1st of March. If they move back by a permit issued by government, then and only then they can be citizen of India. Again, there are they must reside here for 6 months and then register. And Article 8 talks about people who were residing outside India but whose parents, grandparents or they themselves were born in India. Which India? Again defined by Government of India Act 1935. So I hope this is clear. In the next video we'll talk about the Citizenship Act. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.